Danny Dimes ain't winning no award. Even the crappy comeback of the year award, Danny Dimes is not winning a thing. 28 sacks this year for the filthy Green Bay Packers, Michael Parsons. Oh. Yeah, I'm going to go the Vikings to win the division. That's the beauty of it. It's a spicy meatball. The games are going to be incredible.
The phenomenon, he's the messiah, apparently, for the New York Giants. So, welcome back to the bets.com.au YouTube channel. Brian, Jez, Josh on that screen over there. We're going to hit you up with some NFL betting previews for week 1 and some futures, boys. All about the futures, the awards, the division winners, win totals, stuff we like. Down and dirty in the NFL trenches.
What an intro, Ryan. Jesus. What did you eat for breakfast?
A bit of harden the fuck up.
Whoa!
Bit of concrete on my spoon.
Look out.
Boys, this is great. Yeah. We're going to get into the chat, talk about some awards, some stuff. Josh has gone deep as you can get. He's down in the...
We say deep,
real deep down in the
dive,
trenches.
Dodge and dive, right?
No,
I've been down tush pushing, getting all this info.
A bit of brotherly love. He's got the spade out. He's dug down to China, down through to China to see how deep he can go to get this awards and divisional winners.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we'll just kind of have a bit of a discussion. Josh, you lead a little bit with the awards, where you want to go. We'll jump in. We'll have some comments. And as always, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, do it straight away. And if you think you're going to back some of our picks, write it in the comments. If you think mainly Josh is out on his bike, has no idea what he's talking about, then write that in the comments as well, because he'll write back to you because he can't take criticism. He loves it.
No. The data is not wrong. The data is not wrong.
Let's get into some awards. Josh, where are we heading first?
All right. So first of all, I've got to give Brandon Anderson some credit. Dude on YouTube, he's a legend. He's a deep stats legend, and he's dove in and he's found out some prerequisites to these awards. So you wonder why people like Burrow haven't won MVP, and you think it's crazy. He's got all these numbers, he hasn't won. Because statistically, historically, there's a few things to check off the list to what they're actually looking for, and why each person gets the awards. So you want to lead off with, we won't lead off with MVP. We'll lead off with Protector of the Year. So it's a brand new award. There's 6 dudes on the panel. There's 2 X tackles, 2 X guards, and 2 X centers, and they're going to be voting for the award. So we don't really have any data on this one. This is the one we're flying blind into, but it's a new award, no history, no trends. The 6 legends are going to pick it, so we don't really know what they're looking for, but you would imagine it's going to be I think it's going to be a legacy award, right? So it's not going to go to some young up and coming guy that just had a good year this year. I think they're going to go with one of the guys who they can name the award after in 20 years, who's already had a 10-year career maybe, or he's at least had 3 or 5 years in the system. Everyone knows in the NFL, everyone knows his name, and maybe they're going to go down that route. So I imagine it's going to be the best player from a good offensive line that already has a good reputation. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. But, it's a big call. I think it's obviously the first winner. It's very, very prestigious. If they're going to name, if you're calling it that they're going to name the award after this person, I hope that my pick wins the award, because I would love to see an NFL award named after this guy.
Don't hold back on us. Who the fuck is it?
Jordan Mailata. Think if it's an Aussie that gets the award, an NFL award named after him. Obviously, probably the biggest story in the NFL when it comes to Australia. He's probably had the most success if you're not a punter. So obviously come in from rugby. They love him in Philly. He's becoming a cult hero.
Don't forget Jared Hayne. Surely they're going to make an award named after him.
I got the Hayne jersey on actually, because I spilled beer at this last Super Bowl when I had my San Francisco jersey on, the white one. So I only had my Hayne jersey left. So I'm rocking it in our Aussie betting show with Jared Hayne. But anyway, back to Jordan Mailata. I think obviously coming from, if Philly go and they win the Super Bowl again, or make it to the Super Bowl, I think a lot of it's gonna be on the back of Jordan Mailata. Like, he's doing a lot of the work. Obviously, that offensive line, it's not just like protecting. You're not just protecting Jalen Hurts. He's also been opening everything up for Saquon to have record-breaking seasons. So I think he's definitely got to be in the mix, because he's all of a sudden becoming since Kelsey left, he's the guy. He's probably the guy in that offensive line that everybody relies on. He's becoming a leader. And I think it'd just be incredible. What a story, if nothing else, that he wins that award.
Yeah, well, the Eagles have an unfair advantage, and this could go against Jordan Mailata too, because they've got the two best tackles in football. So Jalen Hurts he's spoilt for riches, and Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson are two of the top 5 favorites to win the award. So that tells you how good the offensive line is there for the Eagles. So you got Lane Johnson at about 5 or 6 to 1, and you got Jordan Mailata at about 10 to 1. So either of them can win it. Lane Johnson's probably had more of a prestigious career up to this date. So I think unless Mailata unless his stats or his PFF rankings go through the roof, I think I think Lane Johnson would be my pick from the Eagles to win this award. I'll jump in and say Joe Tooney. So he got traded from the Chiefs, as we were talking about earlier in the other pod, and he's now gone over to the Bears on that big Bears rebuild. So his name's going to be in the media a lot, right? And if the Chiefs don't make the playoffs or something happens with the Chiefs, it's going to be, oh, Joe Tooney's gone, Joe Tooney's gone, Joe Tooney's gone. And he's a big name. You know, he's one of the best. He's always been one of the best. So I think he's good value at 20 to 1-ish. So if you're looking for good value with someone whose name's going to be on TV all the time, he's great value. But yeah, you would think it's could possibly be a tackle, because tackles get all the glory. They're the protectors of the quarterback. It's called Protector of the Year. So I don't know. Maybe it's not going to go to a center or a guard. Maybe they will just lead out with one of the big tackles, one of the big boys, the guys on the big money, the guys on everyone's lips. So yeah, I reckon it's going to go to a tackle.
We'll find.
I reckon it's going to go to a tackle. It's probably going to go to one of the Eagles, but I'll put in Joe Tooney there as my 20 to 1 rough shot.
We'll find the best odds for you as well. We'll put the link in the description to the article on bets.com.au. We'll find the best odds around all the Aussie bookmakers. We'll whack it in the article there to allow you just to click straight through to find the best odds for these picks that we're doing. All right, next award.
All right, let's go to Comeback Player of the Year, which is a bit of a crap one. It's probably the crappiest one, really, Comeback Player of the Year. So they've laid down the law now. They've laid down the law from when Hamilton didn't win it, when he nearly died, and then he come back and he didn't win the award, and Flacco won the award because he had a broken fingernail and he's come back from technically an injury. So Comeback Player of the Year must be coming back from an injury, right? 12 of the last 16 have been quarterbacks. So if you're looking for an edge in the betting market, you might want to tip towards a quarterback. At least 9 wins, and only 1 running back and only 1 defender have ever won it. So it's fun to jump into these props and go, oh, he's good value. And it is, and it's fun, and it lasts you the whole year, and then you go, oh, another quarterback won it, and he had to be injured. So if you're looking for an edge in this one, it's got to be a quarterback, and they've got to be coming back from injury. So on that, my pick's Christian McCaffrey.
Mine too. Well, I think it's interesting. How can JJ McCarthy be Comeback Player of the Year and he's never played in the NFL?
Yeah, well, because Madden's got the Vikings going to the Super Bowl. So, if the Vikings go to the Super Bowl, I think he played some preseason games. Did he play a game, or was he gone for the entire season, JJ McCarthy?
I think he was gone for the entire season. I don't remember him having because everyone's like, you don't know what he is. I don't think he played a game. Sam Darnold just slotted right in there.
Yeah, and had a career year and got himself 50 million from the Seahawks. So
Yeah.
But I think
the best thing.
this market here, boys, I think it's like, as you said, it's a tough award to pick, but you go through the list. Aiden Hutchinson is the favorite, and just the horrific way that he was injured last season, just getting back on the field and being some resemblance of himself could almost put him in the box seat for this award. Dak Prescott, we know that the Cowboys probably aren't going to live up to their potential again this year. But, to your point about a quarterback possibly winning this award, but you go through and there's not a lot. Like, you go down to $21 to Daniel Jones at Indianapolis. That team's shit. There's no way they're winning that. Tua Tagovailoa.
Danny Dimes is the best of the worst they've got down there. So Danny Dimes ain't winning no award. Even the crappy comeback of the year award, and Danny Dimes is not winning a thing. But I think you're on point with Dak Prescott, and he is the third favorite. I like JJ McCarthy up near 10-1 as well. I mean, can he get the award when he's not even played a game? But what if the Vikings finish at number 1 or number 2 seed in the NFC? Does JJ McCarthy win it?
He's the MVP. That's what he is.
Probably got to be. But yeah,
all right, this is a shit award. Let's keep going. Next one.
All right, next one. Coach of the year, boys. What do you reckon? Coach of the year. Right. Here's a few prerequisites over time. Got to have at least 11 games. 9 of the last 10. The coach has won at least 11 games. You got to beat your over/under by at least 2.5. Your season projected, because this is what it is, right? Andy Reid would win it every year, or Sean Payton, or the big coaches win every year. But we know that coach of the year and assistant coach of the year, really, it just comes down to you need to be better than we thought you were going to be. So 13 of the last 15 winners have beat their over/under by 2.5 or more. Okay, at least 4 wins up from your previous record as well. So if you won 6 games, you need to be winning like 9 games this year. So you got to win 3 more on your previous. So you're looking at the Bears, Ben Johnson. So he's gone now from the Lions offensive coach, as we've talked about. He's now over at the Bears. They only won 5 last year, so big improvement there. So he's low-hanging fruit. Mike Vrabel at the Pats. Pats only won 4 last year, and Pete Carroll is at the Raiders. They only won 4 last year. So you really need to grab this low-hanging fruit because they need to improve so much to win this award in previous years.
But you're hot on Chicago, right? You think if you have to pick one of those, are you saying that they hit 11 wins and Ben Johnson takes it?
Yeah, well, they only won 5 last year. So if the Bears can win 8, that puts him in this. And Ben Johnson is the favorite for this on the betting site. So he is the lowest of the hanging fruit. He is the Bears win the offseason narrative. It needs to be a narrative. And you need to be well-liked. Your team needs to be on the improve massively, like the Vikings were last year. So...
All right, our pick is Mike Vrabel. Similar stuff to what you've said there about the coach of the Bears, but Pats have a better strength of schedule. They have a more ingrained system, and they only had 4 wins last season, so a little bit easier to get up over that number. Vrabel's got it for mine.
Yeah, me too. 100%.
All right, next award.
All right, well, we'll stay on coaches of the year. We'll go assistant coach of the year. So for people that don't know, that's your offensive coordinator, your defensive coordinator. Right, it's an up-and-coming or a washed-up head coach. They're your 2 best bets. So a washed-up head coach that goes to an assistant role, they normally know what they're doing, and they normally bring a lot of value to the team. Again, it's got to be a good narrative, so the up-and-coming coaches always get a lot of votes as well. Previous years, 13 wins, 3.5 wins more than last year. 9 of the last 7 winners were offensive-minded. So there's one for you. 9 of the last 7 are offensive-minded. So people that choose this thing are leaning towards offensive-minded coaches. So what do we got here? Yeah, what do you reckon, boys? What do you reckon on that? And who do you like?
I'm going to go for a defensive coach and back 49ers. Because purely the strength of schedule, I think. If they got an easy run, they're obviously going to be shutting teams down. It's going to be produce some pretty good numbers. And Robert Saleh is coming back to his home where he led the 49ers to the Super Bowl as the defensive coach. So I'm backing him third favorite. No surprises.
Yeah, Ryan, what do you reckon?
To be brutally honest, boys, I don't give a fuck about this one. I'm going to go Eberflus. Got the boot. Bit of a washed-up coach. Might settle back into a assistant role. Getting him at 17-1, so worth a shot.
Yeah, where's he? He's down at the Cowboys, isn't he?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Look, I like
Yeah,
Zach
Cowboys.
Robinson from the Falcons. I like Jesse Minter from the Chargers. He's a defensive coordinator. So, look, the Chargers, I think they've lost Bosa, so they're not going to be as good as first thought. But I think he's still good value at $15. You got Washington. You got Cliff Kingsbury at Washington. He's an offensive, and Chip Kelly at the Raiders. So if the Raiders can improve, like a lot of people think they can, with Bowles and with Ashton Genty going there in the NFL draft, I think Chip Kelly, he's a well-known name, and at over 20-1, I think he could be a good crack at this one.
Righto, let's go offensive and defensive players, and we'll just go. You give us the criteria. We'll bang a name, and then we'll get to the next one.
Righto. Offensive player of the year. Is that what you want?
Yep, let's go
offensive
for that.
Player of the year. Right. So offensive player of the year is normally not for quarterbacks. So the quarterback award is the MVP award. So offensive player of the year it's a receiver or a running back. If you're a quarterback, you're looking at up around 4,900 yards and 40 touchdowns. For a running back, 1,800 yards, 14 touchdowns. And for a receiver, 140 receptions, about 18 touchdowns. So plus 10 average, plus 10 wins. Average of 12.5 wins per year. You need to come from that team to win this award. No one's ever won it twice since Marshall Faulk back in the Greatest Show on Turf and the St. Louis Rams. And I mean, you look at Jamar Chase. He won the Triple Crown last year and didn't win it because it had to go to Barkley, who got 1 billion yards. So it can go to a receiver or a running back, but even the coveted Triple Crown can't even get you in the NFL, get you this award this year. So I don't know. My pick this year is offensive player of the year. Look, a healthy Christian McCaffrey. I'm going Christian McCaffrey.
Love all these 49er awards coming in. Half of them for me, but I'm glad you're backing me up that they're going to have a good season. They're obviously going to have a good regular season, so that helps, obviously, in the awards. But I'm throwing a spanner into the works in this one and giving a massive outside 76-1 prospect because I'm picking a quarterback, because I'm picking something different as MVP, and taking CJ Stroud to win Offensive Player of the Year. It's wild. I know. Expecting big improvements.
He needs an offensive line to win.
They're in the AFC Championship.
Shut up. No more. We're not going to explain our picks. I'm going Jamar Chase, best offensive player. Who's the defense? What are defensive conditions? All
right. So defensive player of the year, it's pass rushers. They're the ones that get paid the big money. They're the ones that win this award. So 8 of the last 10 are pass rushers. You need to be an edge rusher, right? Patrick Surtain won last year, yes, from cornerback from the Broncos, but that's because everyone did a Bradbury, right? So you're good edge rushers. Micah Parsons got injured. Adrian Hutchinson got injured. TJ Watt, he fell off the bandwagon at the end of the year, and Patty Surtain in a Denver team that played no good offenses and boosted his stats, and he ended up winning it. So it's either a Bradbury or a pass rusher. Who do you like?
TJ Watt for me.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Comeback king. Who you got?
Well, boys, Madden doesn't lie. And the simulation I run, there was one stat that really caught my eye. Injuries off. 28 sacks this year for the filthy Green Bay Packers, Micah Parsons.
Oh.
He goes to the Packers. He's in the headlines. Everyone's going to be watching every snap he's on that field. And 28 sacks, Micah Parsons wins Defense Player of the Year.
All right. What other awards do we have? I don't know if we're going to go through them all. What more do you have? Let's check them out.
Well, Offensive Player of the Year. We've done that one. What about Defensive Rookie or Defensive Offense or Defense Rookies? And then we still got to go to MVP.
All right. Fuck the rookies. Let's just do MVP.
Right.
I've been on this for 20 minutes now. I want to get to the good shit.
Righto, MVP. I've got to find the cheat sheet.
All right, while you're doing that,
my pick defies the cheat sheet because I'm running with the same narrative that it's going to be a quarterback at least that wins Offensive Player of the Year because Saquon Barkley is going to have a similar year to what he had last season, and I don't think that they can deny him the MVP if he goes in and pumps out another year with as many touchdowns and over 2,000 rushing yards. He should have got it last year almost, you could say. Had the best season, and he's going to win it at 61-1 odds.
Woo, woo, woo.
61-1.
Yeah, because it's always a quarterback. You got to go all the way down the list.
That's wild.
Yeah. What's the criteria?
Right. All right, criteria. It's a team award. It's a team award. It's not. This is why Joe Burrow never wins it, because it's a team award. So, average of 14 wins. Your team has to win 14 times in the year for to get it. And this is why, the people blow up like, why doesn't Barkley get it? Well, he's not a quarterback. And why doesn't Burrows get it? Because he's in a shit team. It's a shit team that lets him down. So 14 wins, you got to be a quarterback. 17 of the last 18 are quarterbacks. So that's telling you that Barkley, even at 2,000 yards, that's why he didn't win it. But he slid down the line to Offensive Player of the Year and then slid the Triple Crown Jamar Chase out of the awards. Jamar Chase actually finished third or fourth in that award, so I don't know who's voting for that thing. Fair dinkum. Only 5 people have won it back-to-back. So only 5 people have won it back-to-back. 13 times, you got to either be the first or second seed in your conference. So if you don't come from a first and second seed, you ain't winning MVP either. And you got to fall out of... No, that'll do. That's it. The other one's a ramble. So you got to tick all those boxes to win. And to tick all those boxes to win, I'm tipping... I won't give you my Super Bowl pick, but Josh Allen does not win it. He doesn't go back-to-back. I'm going Lamar. Lamar should have won last year. Lamar's numbers were superior, but they went with the beautiful narrative of Josh Allen. So I'm going to say that Lamar wins his 3rd this year, and he will dominate the stats again.
There you go. I'm going Joe Burrow. Woo. Bengals are going to finally get over the hump this year.
Joe Burrow's not going to win it because the Bengals are not even going to make the playoffs.
We'll see about that, buddy. All right, let's move on to divisional winners. And we'll start in the AFC. And I don't really know how this is going to go, boys. Do we go division by division and just call out what we think's good?
Yeah, I think we just power through it, and because a lot of the division winners are going to be the favourites. I think it pretty much is self-explanatory. I think we can stop up a little bit when we find something and hit a clash of opinions, and we can just discuss our way through that a little bit. So I think if we start with the AFC East, I think, is that the most clean cut with the Bills winning the AFC East?
Yeah.
Is everybody in agreement? Everybody say aye? Aye.
Yep, aye.
Aye. So I think we move straight on there. We can go to the next one, the AFC North. Anybody brave enough to tip against the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC North? Is there anything to even discuss there, or what? Oh, Ryan, you're a little bit thirsty. What do you got to say?
Well, no, I tell you what, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have a top 2, top 3, top 1 defense. So I think though they've got Aaron Rodgers and he's old, I think recipe to doing well is have a quarterback with his head on his shoulders like Aaron Rodgers. He can protect the ball. As long as he stays healthy, he can protect the ball. They're going to run the ball. They're going to grind out games, and they're going to stay in a lot of games with the defense. You can stay in games with a good defense and an Aaron Rodgers. So I think the Steelers will close the gap on Baltimore, but I'd still see Baltimore winning the division.
You like the Bengals?
I like the Bengals. I think this division is going to be a lot closer than what it has been, and it might not be the Bengals that are going to take the wins from the Ravens. It could, like you said, it could be the Steelers. But it's you just look at that first few weeks for the Bengals over the last few years. If they just turn that a little bit around, then all of a sudden they're right there. And Burrow is one of the best players of our generation. If they need to do it
in the wrong uniform, that's the only problem.
Yeah. AFC West.
AFC West. Yeah, this is a tough one, but I don't know. I can't back against the Chiefs until they actually lose. They were close to losing a lot last year, but until they actually lose, I think if you're trying to make a comfortable bet on that division, then I think you got to back the Chiefs.
Was too many games to make a difference. They were out in front of the Chargers by 4. We don't really think the Chargers are going to be a whole lot better. The Broncos 5 wins away, and we don't even need to talk about the Raiders. They can't make up that difference. So just a kind of a addition by subtraction.
Yeah, well, look, I'm going to be the contrarian here, and I think the wheels don't fall off Kansas City, but I think they got a lot of help from the gods last year. The gods being the referees, and the gods being missed field goals, and the gods being Mahomes falling over and throwing a sidearm pass and just winning games. They were very good somehow at winning unwinnable games at the end last year. So you take a few of those away. I like the Denver Broncos to win the division. I think the defense is solid. Bo Nix is in his second year. He's going to improve. I understand that Denver won a lot of their games by non-playoff teams last year, but I think they just got lucky with a good schedule as well. I know they then got dusted up by, I think, the Bills in the playoffs, but I think Denver closes the gap. Kansas City are not as good, and Denver steals the West.
You got a pretty good price on them there as well. We'll throw that in the article if you like the Broncos.
Yeah.
Their South is the last one, and you're hot on the Texans.
Yeah, 100%. All over the Texans this year. Big improvements on their offensive line. CJ Stroud should have more time to throw. Took them into week 2 of the finals last year in the playoffs. So, yeah, I'm red hot on them. I don't think the Jags, the Colts are rubbish. Titans are rubbish. I don't know. They're at least in the AFC South. I'm pretty confident that they walk out of there once again as the division champions.
Anything to say there, Josh?
Yeah,
I think the Texans definitely take the division. I'm still worried about their offensive line. I know they improved it marginally in the offseason, but improving is good for moving forward, but improving doesn't make you good, and the offensive line is not good. It's still ranked 32nd in the league, which is dead last. CJ Stroud's going to be running for his life. But that defense is number 1 in football for good reason. So I think they still comfortably win the South. I don't think Jacksonville will come close, even though they're slowly improving their team year by year. Trevor Lawrence should be better this year as well. You got the additions of Travis Hunter. He should help sell some tickets, but I don't know if he's going to help them win many games. So, yeah, I think Houston, clear-cut, my favourites as well.
Righto, boys. Over to the NFC. We're going to hit the East first. And in my opinion, the Washington Commanders cannot get within 2 wins of the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles to win the division here.
Yeah, I'm all over the Eagles as well. I think the Commanders, you don't really know what the Commanders are going to be. Don't know what the Cowboys are now going to be. Like, their offense should be good. What happens to their defense? What's their mental state? And then the Giants are the Giants. They might get a bit better, but still, I don't think anybody is in the realm of the Philadelphia Eagles.
No, I agree. Philadelphia Eagles, that offense is one of the best offenses we've ever seen. It's incredible. They're going to Hurts is going to move the ball down the field pretty easy like he did last year. There's going to be plenty of tush pushing. Saquon Barkley. The receivers are, in the top 5 receivers in the league. The Giants have improved on their D line. They're going to be better. Cowboys are going to be worse. Cowboys are trash. The Cowboys have a fantastic offense, but defense without Micah Parsons, they're just trash. They're trash. You are going to walk into. You're not going to walk into Dallas. You're going to run into Dallas. You are just going to run through the Cowboys. They're garbage. Washington Commanders had such an easy schedule last year. They're not going to come close as well. I think it's the Eagles by a long shot.
The NFC West, it's the 49ers at the top there, despite them coming last year, but so much injury just ravaged that team. The Rams, a bit worse defensively. The Seahawks rebuilding. The Cardinals, what do we even say about them? But 49ers to win for me.
Yeah, but I'm not confident that they do win it. I think it's going to be a really highly contested division in the end because, we talked about the injuries. It's just going to take some injuries again, and the 49ers are gone.
If that's any team.
But I think it's going to hurt them more. If you lose Christian McCaffrey, you lose so much. If they lose Kittle, they're in big trouble. If they lose one of their sort of top receivers, that offense is going to struggle again. It's all going to rely on how good the defense goes. And it might be a little bit like the Pittsburgh Steelers story, and the defense is going to have to win them games.
Yeah, I like this division. This division's interesting for me. I mean, you look at the Los Angeles Rams. They arguably should have beat could have beat the Eagles last year in the NFC. I mean, they could have been in the Super Bowl, but that all revolves around staying healthy as well. You look at Matt Stafford. He's got a back problem. If Matt Stafford's in the team, they go toe-to-toe with San Francisco. San Francisco has slightly better schedule, but with a healthy Matt Stafford, they can win the division. The Seahawks have a top 3 defense, and they've just got Sam Darnold, who had a career year over at the Vikings and just got himself a massive contract there. So their defense will be better. They don't rank high in my power ranking, Seattle, but they got a hell of a defense, so you just never know what's going to happen. But I've got San Francisco to win it, but that's only because I've been following the Rams because the Cowboys played him in preseason, and Matt Stafford is not healthy. He's practicing throwing the ball now, but he's not healthy. And if he's not healthy, they don't win games. But with Matt Stafford healthy, if Matt Stafford plays every game, I think they can win. They win the division. But I don't think he's going to be playing football competitively at the start of the year. So I'm going with the 49ers.
All right, let's jump down to the South because I want to leave the North to the last one. Penix Jr., I don't know, like the Bucks have it wrapped up here. You can't really say there's going to be any of those other 3 teams that will do any significant damage to the Bucks' chances.
No, I like the Bucks. I think they're very well balanced. I think Baker Mayfield, he was so good last year. Look, talking about MVPs, I'm going to have a little sneaky on Baker Mayfield. If Tampa Bay can snatch themselves 11, 12, 13 wins, if they can go through the number 1 seed, if the Niners fall apart, as the Packers don't do as well, Micah Parsons is wrecking the locker room. Like, who knows? Tampa Bay, they're a sneaky, they're well balanced. I love Baker. Everyone loves Baker. They've got a solid enough defense. They're almost there. So I don't think anyone can give them trouble. There's a lot of fun teams in there, you know. The Atlanta Falcons, Penix Jr., Bijan Robinson. So there's a lot of points in this division. The Saints are going to be awful. Write them off. But yeah, I love the Bucks. I love Baker, and I can't see them losing this division.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, NFC North is probably the hottest contested
spicy
division.
meatball.
Yeah, the hottest one in all of the NFL. And, you know, from an outsider's perspective, without knowing everything, you would say, okay, well, the Bears aren't going to win. But the amount of talk that's been about the Bears in this preseason, anyone can win this division. But it's going to be the Packers. What do you say, Jez?
Yep, sorry. I didn't know you were waiting for me, mate. Yep. You're right. The best division in football. It's the one everyone's waiting for. I got bad internet, so there's a little bit of a lag here, boys. Give me a break. In my power rankings, yeah, exactly. It's got to go over Ayers Rock to get to me first. So in my power rankings, you've got the Bears, Packers, Vikings. The Lions are the only ones that don't have a top 10 O-line, a top 10 defense, and a top 10 offense. So you're talking 3 of the 4 all have top 10 in all those key categories to win a Super Bowl. So, and the Lions are the ones that won 15-2 last year. So That's incredible. Any of these teams can go well. Look, I know the Bears have done a lot in the offseason. I'm not on the Bear train. I think they'll improve. I think they'll almost make the playoffs, maybe, but definitely not the caliber of the Packers, Lions, and Vikings. Scrub the Lions out because they don't go high enough in my power rankings, and they've got the 15th ranked defense, and you've got to have a top 10 ranked defense to win. So that leaves the Packers and the Vikings. I'm going to go the Vikings to win the division. Though I do have both these two teams to play each other again in the NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm. I'm scrapping all your shit and I'm taking the Lions. I'm not ready to write off the Lions yet.
They are the second favourites, though, the Lions. They're the second favourites. I'm down in the trenches. I'm reading the stats, the ins and outs, the trends.
You're going too deep, mate. You're going too deep and you're going full circle. You're not getting anywhere. You're going just round and round and round.
And then land
I don't know. I'm just not ready to write off the Lions. I think you got to wait and see. Obviously, departure of coaches plays a big part in it, but if they hold it together, I don't think you write them off just yet. They have everything. Hutchinson's back. Their defense should improve. Their defense was on absolute point until they just started getting injuries. So another team, ride the defense. I think it's better than what is expected and what the stats and rankings might say. And yeah, this is their window. It's now or never for them, and they're gonna top the division. All right, we have no idea. We can't make a pick on the North. No idea at all.
No one can. That's why it's the best
close your eyes
football.
And
every analyst has a different winner. That's the beauty of it. It's a spicy meatball. The games are going to be incredible.
That's it. Well, all right, let's wrap things up with some win totals. This is my favourite part, my favourite segment, and future picks. It's mucking around with some win totals. First, we'll go to. You've been on the Houston Texans win totals.
Yeah, I can straight up say I've got nothing really interesting or more to add than what we've already added in the earlier segments or over on our show ahead of the game. It's Texans over. They're 9.5 total. Packers are a 10.5 total. I think both of them go over. We've said it all before. Better roster, good off seasons, and both ready to go.
I like the Buccaneers over 9.5. They won 10 last year. And
hey Ryan, where's your Buccaneers? They're on your Buccanehead.
Wow. Hal, you've been waiting all show for that. It was good.
I have.
We're going to clip that part out and put it at the front of the episode. It was so
good.
I also like the Giants win total. They are 5.5. And now you have to pay a bit of juice, but a 5.5 win total for a team with Russell Wilson as a quarterback and some good draft picks.
Yeah.
I think in a division where you're probably going to steal a game or two from Dallas, could steal a game from a couple of other. They have a really tough strength of schedule. One of the toughest in the league, in the top third. But I think they can steal some games, and 5.5 or 6 wins. It's not a lot of wins. So I think they're going to go over their win total. Josh, who are you looking at? The first couple here.
Oh, look, I'm on you with the Giants, but they've got a brutal first 6. If you look at their first 6 games, I mean, Russell Wilson and that scary defensive line with Thibodeau, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, I don't think they can get over their first 6. They could be 0-6 at the start, which would really do them in. But if they can get something out of those first 6 games, then they could go over that 5.5. Look,
just before we move on, could that could be a good thing, because all of a sudden you move Russell Wilson out, Darke comes in, and it's just he's the phenomenon, he's the messiah apparently for the New York Giants. So it might be a bad thing that they go 0-5 or 0-6 and then bring in their rookie, and anything could happen.
Yeah, poor old Russell Wilson. He might be on the chopping block from just from that. And if you look at the Browns, it's the same. Flacco could be 0-6, and all of a sudden Dylan Gabriel's starting round 6 or 7 as well. So, but look, I like the best team in football, 11.5. I think the Baltimore, they won 12 last year. I think they win 12 or more. They found ways to lose stupid games last year. I think they're only going to be better. Derrick Henry, he breaks the rules for running backs. He should be washed up 2 years ago, but he's just getting better and better. I mean, He's going to slow down at some point, but I don't think it's going to be this year. I like Baltimore to go over 12. Steelers at 8.5. You might think that's a stretch, but they've got Aaron Rodgers this year. If he stays healthy, even if he doesn't, just having him there like a Cooper Cronk, just there, don't turn the football over, a good defense. They won 10 last year and they're 8.5 this year. I think they're a better team this year with Rodgers.
Yeah,
And they're gonna win 10 games or 11 games. I've got them getting into the wild card. So I like over the 8.5 there. And what's my last one? Dallas Cowboys. Stick a fork in them. No Micah Parsons, no love, no wins. Everyone's Kenny Clark's come in there to slow down the run, but I don't think Kenny Clark can walk in 1 week before the playoffs, 1 week before the season starts, and just plug the holes that the Cowboys have had in the run game for the last 5 years. So I think Cowboys in the under as much as it pains me, and they're my picks for over under.
I also like the Pats over 7.5. Their coaching and just the pedigree of that club, or the franchise, whatever you want to call it over there. Good lift. And they only had 4 wins last year, but there were a couple there that I remember were games they probably should have won. And maybe it's just the finish or that extra training or the gel between the players that could decide those games. There was an under that I did see here, which I...
While you're browsing, I'm hot on something happening in the NFC West. I think I was tossing up who I think is going to hit their unders, because everybody's got pretty between 7 and 8 win totals for Seattle and Cardinals. So I think one of them is going to go under. I don't know. I feel like Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison combination could lift the Cardinals, and they can be a little bit more than what maybe most people are thinking. I don't think they're a playoff team, but I think that they're going to come up around their 7.5 mark. So I'm actually going to throw a little bit at Seattle going under. I think it's revamped. You lose DK Metcalf. Yes, Cooper Kupp comes in. But I just think they've got a lot of changes on offense. Backing against Sam Darnold, I don't know, was it the Vikings that were so good and the coaching staff in Minnesota that was so good? And so I think it's such a big risk, him going there. Something must have been right, because they cleared the path for JJ McCarthy with no question at all. The guy just won, 13, 14 games, and then they just moved him on.
Yeah.
So was it him? Were they making play calls that were beneficial to him where he couldn't fuck up? Maybe that's it, because I just feel very uncomfortable just getting moved on like that after such a successful season in Minnesota. So maybe he's not all he's cracked up to be, and their offense is going to struggle. So taking Seattle on the under.
I'm going to go Bengals.
Yeah, that's...
So you got a comment on that?
Oh yeah, look, I think 8.5 with a good defense. Sam Darnold, he was just so good last year, and I agree. The Vikings coaching staff is probably the second best in the top 3 of the NFL. So yeah, you're right. Was it the coaching staff or was it him? But he played so good, and with a quarterback who plays that good now with a top 3 defense, I don't know. I think 8.5's on the money, but. Just staying in the West, sorry, Ryan, to cut you off, but staying in the West, 9.5 with the Los Angeles Rams, it all comes back to the health of the quarterback. If he can't start, if Matt Stafford's not there, they're going way under. But if Matt Stafford's there, they can go back to the NFC game.
Garoppolo's not your safest bet at quarterback, unfortunately.
Oh, Jimmy's safe as
a
house.
Poor old Jim.
Cincinnati Bengals, they're at 9.5. They've got 9 wins the last 2 seasons with those poor starts they've had and the injuries they've had to deal with as well, especially with Burrow. So I think they're over, and you're getting a pretty good number for that 9.5. And then we've spoken about the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm prepared to go there under, just on a bit of a regression from these one-score games. It can't continue, can it, Josh?
Nah, I'm on that with you. I think they just got so lucky. Have you ever seen anything like it last year? Like, do you remember after every game, sending texts and phone calls and sending snaps from YouTube and Facebook, just going, how do they do it? How do they do it? And they're at 11.5 wins. You know, the Madden gods have got them at 9 and 8. And yeah. I like the Madden gods. Madden gods are on point. I think the under in the Chiefs, and I can't believe I didn't flag it earlier, but yeah, good call. I think 11.5 might be too much.
Yeah. I agree. All right. Any final thoughts on any futures betting for the NFL, Josh?
No, I don't, but I do have my lock of the week for round one that I would like to share.
Do it.
I think the Browns beat the Bengals in round one. I think
I'm out.
the defense matches up good with the Bengals.
You're off your head, mate.
I think Burrow's going to be running for his life. I think the Cleveland don't win another game till like round 10, but I think they win round one and then they're awful. So I'm going the Browns to sneak the Bengals in round one.
When did the Bengals last win a week one game? I don't know. It's been a while.
It's trend. That's a trend.
Yeah. Put that into your stat muse, whoever's watching. Tell me in the comments. I don't even want to look up for myself.
It called me a dickhead and told me, yeah, it's not going to work.
Any final thoughts on NFL futures?
No, not at all. I think it's going to be an absolute cracking year. Interesting to see how all of this plays out. If we can hit any of our overs and any of our unders.
We'll promise if this shit all turns out, we'll be sending you the receipts on this channel all season long. And if they don't, we're going to be burying this episode deep into the YouTube archive so it never sees the light of day.
No, it's going to happen. Look at all these statistics. Look at all this research. That's we're going to nail every one of these things.
Data doesn't lie.
That's right.
Fantastic, boys. Good chat today. We'll come back here on bets.com.au. Also, check out ahead of the game. We did a season preview. We spoke a little bit more general about football and some different stuff, not so focused on betting. So if you don't like the betting stuff, head over to that. We'll put the link in the description. And if you do like betting, stick around with us here on bets.com.au all summer long. You're going to get the NFL. You're going to get basketball, both the NBA and the NBL. Big Bash League will be coming to bets.com.au YouTube channel. All the articles on the website every week, completely free. And while you're there, the last couple of weeks of NRL, you're still going to get the cheat sheet, completely free. All the stats, all the insights, all the information, all the data. Like Josh has said, data doesn't lie. You're going to get it completely free each and every NRL game on bets.com.au. And, of course, the Ashes coming up. We're going to get some good content out of the Ashes. Going to get Adam back on, helping us there with good cricket content.
Also a geek. Also a numbers geek. Yeah. Found some good numbers geeks.
And Josh, you're going to be back talking NFL and a whole heap of stuff over the summer. Can't wait for it. It's going to be good, boys.
Yep. Sounds good, boys. I had fun.
Thank you for today, boys. Have a good one.